I'm serious. And then we make excuses for them. They don't understand. Yes, the hell they do. We keep making excuses for people because they're Asiatic and Africans, as if they ain't sellouts, overseers, COINTELPRO operatives, because we don't expect that from them. And because they be out there in the venue. You know and I know. What, 94, 95? 1995. Me and Hannibal went up there and nationalized. I don't knock them. Let them do what they do. You know what I mean? I don't even battle with them. I just keep it moving and keep taking it to the people. And knowing that as the people get this information, they themselves, some of them same people that's been playing them and dragging their lives out, when this stuff could have been solved, will be hanged from these damn trees, including a lot of them reverends. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, when you, to keep yourself in check, every once in a while, just pull up the synopsis of COINTELPRO operations to remind yourself to stop being naive. Stop making excuses for the Negro labels. Because they're not, it's almost like the freaky gym teacher that keeps caressing your little girl's buns at the gym class, and you're saying he doesn't understand what he's doing. When no, I'm just saying this is what we keep doing, rather than taking him and changing or rearranging his head. Yeah. You know, like he's Asiatic. Oh, well, maybe he didn't really mean it because he ain't European or something. You know what I mean? It's like, stop making excuses for these people. Yo, sluts can't fuck with the Cujo.
Our sister, our friend, professional, qualified attorney, Keisha, is only here to paint a picture of how we are viewed within the judicial system. Within the judicial system. Within the judicial system.
But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroaded. But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroaded. But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroaded. And let me stop right there. Plenty of us done that. There's nothing wrong with that. Plenty of us has trusted in a lawyer or an attorney and thought that they would be for us in the middle of our downfall or some type of error we have made or some type of way we've been set up or accident or just perfectly being railroaded. Okay, because I've done it. I've done it years ago. I haven't hired an attorney since, but I've done it years ago. And everything I've that's come my way since maybe 2011, I've beaten. Y'all go get 9 charges dismissed without an attorney. I ain't bullshit. Y'all bullshitting. I'm not bullshitting. I ain't afraid. Y'all talking about y'all banging on the cracker. Y'all ain't banging on shit. Faggot ass motherfuckers.
People are afraid to pursue their most important dreams because they feel that they don't deserve them or that they'll be unable to achieve them. We, their hearts, become fearful just thinking of loved ones who go away forever, or of moments that could have been good but weren't. or as treasures that might have been found but were forever hidden in the sand.
30 more say the prophet's name won't teach the same universal lessons. Keep you slave chains on your brain. Wanting more as presidents when that's the prophet. If he was around, most grand cheeks heads he'll off it. Guilty by association, off your head too for riding with dirty moors that made a mockery of Drew Ali. Dirty moors from Canaanland to Cali. Used to be LB, now they claim Ali. Keep thinking that they're for you, but get ignored. Giving lessons in pieces like a jigsaw. Leave you puzzled, your third eye muzzled, mind smuggled. Know how to say the right thing, keep lies subtle. Really win with truth bait, lying eyes and truth face. Ego moors make you carry their suitcase or hold their umbrella. He walks like a fruitcake, prophet watching from the soul plane. The route you take.
There, these grand chicks have not told us to do these things when they know these things because they get in an attitude. And they've been playing do religious games. Then the Europeans, after they started getting thrown on the bus, started with HMOs about 40 years ago. They ran that to the wall. Then they started white Christian sovereign, white state sovereign. Then use of commercial code operations and financial statements 1, 3, and 9, basically financial statements. And they ran them to the wall as soon as they perfect the vouchers and then move on them and they threaten them or they arrest them. And this is why whenever you ask people that has any of these UCCs to sell, ask them to name 5 people that perfected them. Now, millions of people have been doing it across the country. Keep this in mind. Any marketing thing to show proof, just like if you're doing any marketing, you got to show some evidence of successes because it's still stock. These are stocks. Birth certificates, marriage certificates, original manufacturing titles, and origins are all bank bonds. Yeah, they keep sending making all these processes for people to capture these things, and they can't name 5 people that's perfected the discharge of the QC number. We're not saying the processes in their principles incorrect. We're saying that they're rude. Now the Pope's telling you that they're rude.
Whose prince will you step in? Demons or genuines? MSTA members or Moorish Americans? 300 gangsters in the building. They don't want these problems. 300 gangsters in the building. Shout out to my man. And I ain't naming no name. 300 gangsters in the building. They don't want these problems. 90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali, but not true. Keeping you away, they have a deep, dirty more crew, causing confusion. This dirty more crew.
No Crowley said, you know, before I brought you your name and your nationality and the knowledge of your birthright, nobody was talking to you. Nobody was telling you anything. Everybody was living off your virtues. And now that he brought your nationality and your birthright back and gave it to you, explained it to you, set up a foundation, an institution by which that information can be dispensed, now everybody wants to tell you what Islam is, what Islam is not. He said, they didn't tell you anything before, don't let them tell you anything now.
90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali, but not true. Keeping you away, they have a deep, dirty more crew, causing confusion. This dirty more crew will tell you partial to have chains on your brain when there should be parcel, a free national name. Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open, not Morisco world eyes wide open. F you guys, all of you. Taharka Bay, F you, liar, goddamn liar. So here's the charter for the Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, right? Now, if you look right here, right? You see, this is the seal that Taharka showed on his show, saying that we sell these seals for $30. Taharka, make sure you bring forward the people who we sold this seal to. Just make sure you bring the people forward, all right? So the people on the other one, make sure, Taharka, I know you watch our stuff, make sure you bring forward the people who we sold this seal to for $30. Make sure. But if you don't prove your claim, you're a fucking liar. And you can go fuck yourself. 90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali, but not true. Keeping you away, they have a deep, dirty more crew, causing confusion. This dirty more crew will tell you partial to have chains on your brain when there should be parcel, a free national name. Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open, not Morisco world eyes wide open. For her can make those lips clap, using Frank, Gary, Brother Larry, journalist traps.
Mighty soldier, he go by the name of Tahaka Bey. This brother right here, what I love about my brother Tahaka is that he don't just roll over like some of the moves we know. You know, we bang on them and they just roll over and say, you know, ain't gonna deal with that. Tahaka Bey, he bangs back.
Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open, not Morisco world eyes wide open. For her can make those lips clap, using Frank, Gary, Brother Larry, journalist traps. Homoerotic, stray cat Moors, dissing the mothers, putting blame on active Moors for current gains and others.
And it all appears legitimate on the surface, doesn't it? Until you study and find out that this is a social engineering mind control game, and they've been part of it. You can see why they're upset with us, and why the Southern Christian Poverty Law Firm sicked these shills on us.
Yeah, I guess if we take the research back, they're a corrupt group that exists to raise a lot of money for mostly well-meaning but gullible donors. I get it. But what I'm shocked by is how many media organizations take them seriously, pretend that they're legitimate. Did you lodge a complaint with them?
Well, first of all, anyone that criticizes them publicly run the risk of being labeled as a hater or being placed on hate watch or being mentioned in one of their articles. And so to get branded by them, all you have to do is criticize them. In fact, you yourself is at risk of being placed on hate watch.
Oh, I'm sure that's true. I wouldn't go there. But to call an African-American woman a white supremacist, I'm sorry to laugh, it's horrible, but it's also so ludicrous that why would anyone
for white supremacy?
Why would anyone take them seriously?
I don't know. I mean, they have a lot of influence at universities, and the name, the Southern Poverty Law Center, it conjures up an image of this organization that is seeking to eradicate poverty, that's working on behalf of the downtrodden. Totally false. They do nothing really for the poor. And so they have been able to amass, millions of dollars with that image. And what they do now is really pursue an ideological leftist agenda, and they punish anyone who criticizes them.
I've posted up in there, listed from the Southern Poverty Law Firm. Let's see what the law firm, since these people are getting the advice about the law, let's see what the law firm has to say.
And why the Southern Christian Poverty Law Firm sicked these shills on us that's located here in Philadelphia. And trying to say that we set that girl up to get her killed and all that kind of stuff. And the Pope owns all of the corporate entities. And then they try to make her look like she was out to lunch, because they know our people don't know this. And so she was suing them, so they put a hit on her.
Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open, not Morisco world eyes wide open. For her can make those lips clap, using Frank, Gary, Brother Larry, journalist traps. Homoerotic, stray cat Moors, dissing the mothers, putting blame on active Moors for current gains and others. Fake profits, heads on the coin, and pictures next to the noble. Today the treasury balance is zero, the total.
300 gangsters in the building. They don't want these problems. 300 gangsters in the building. Shout out to my man. It ain't named.
And sovereign citizen has nothing to do with sovereignty. He even said that it's an oxymoron. And you can't be a sovereign citizen at the same time. So then why are they still talking? These are dirty Moors. We're telling you, we're showing you, we're proving to you that they're dirty. If you want to follow them, that's on you. But do not ever think in your free mind that these people are going to talk crazy and we're not going to say something about it. Study when you're finished, study yourself. Dirty Moors, judge your attire and judge your bookshelf. Study when you're fit to study the law. When you study no trance by Moorish hymn composers. Study when you're finished, study the higher. Dirty Moors cook out that smell from Oscar Mayer.
Now this lamb shoulder is called a Moorish lamb shoulder. Yes, it is Moorish, as in really tasty and succulent, but Moorish as in the flavors that are going into this. You can see I've got loads of different spices here, and Moorish food is a combination of North African food, a little bit of Italian food. It's the combination of the Mediterranean and North African influence there.
Study when you're finished, study yourself. Dirty Moors, judge your attire and judge your bookshelf. Study when you're fit to study the law. When you study no trance by Moorish hymn composers. Study when you're finished, study the higher. Dirty Moors cook out that smell from Oscar Mayer. Study when you're finished, it's never finished. Dirty Moors selling status correction clinics. 500 per class pass. I'd rather watch Taj.
Excellent literature under the name Moorish Order of the Round Table. Excellent literature.
And have a clear perspective on the Moorish path. Faculty and student, Moorish Heritage History School. Don't endanger your life with a fool.
I'm not offended about it. I'm fixing it. You know what I mean? Because I ain't in it for ego. I'm in it for a whole different game. You know, I'm looking head and back. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the next generation. I ain't even, you know, they can't do. I can't be bored. Simple.
Well, yeah, and in my Supreme L voice.
To the Harker, pig pit,
And conscious means that you're conscious of what's going on in this world. You're fully aware and awake to what's going on in this world. That's what conscious rap means. So if you got conscious rap, that means you got unconscious rap. That means you got motherfuckers that's unconscious rapping. That means they sleeping. They still under the spell of Leviathan. They still under the spell of King.
Call me brother man, I'm not the rubber man. Though I keep my Nazis in affairs wrapped with some rubber bands. Burning out the Ku Klux Klan and with the Grand Dairy Queen misters. Just butts of guns I'm giving. Trying to make more sovereign citizens, these minions. Help kill your prophet, stole your treasury millions. You heard it from your brother man, not a smother sellout. Cess links in K2 Kush days, keep me red out. I got the knowledge to make these silly hoes question the pimping directors of music videos. Gaylords and verses with strap-on boots with heels. Too much graphic art faces, boobs are not real. Since MCM and Troop, they use Timberland boots to get us all caught up in fashion, not the simple men who's got our people on dogmatic, not metaphysic. Exoteric, not esoteric is how you missed it. So out of it, you couldn't feel the natural mystic blowing through the air like it didn't give a shit. I hear the dirty Moors dissing, cause I said profanities. A lot of these grand sheets need to take off the panties. Pull the thong out your crack vest wearing bitch ass nigga. Return to where the prophet found you, Negro ass nigga.
It's time to choose a side. You're either positive or you negative. You're either evil or you good. You understand what I'm saying? Choose a side, nigga. I know what side I'm on.
Moore's World TV, huh? More like Asian World TV, you dig?
I dig.
Tired of all these agent provocateurs slandering the rights. That's for all y'all out. It's for all y'all out. Y'all did. I smell an agent.
You smell an agent.
I smell an agent.
Yeah.
Watching for a fight to sell out, lurking the corner, and best believe they coming with that folly, taking you under. I smell an agent. You smell an agent.
I smell an agent.
Yeah, you better watch it for a fight to sell out, lurking the corner, and best believe they coming with that folly, taking you under. It's a shame, man. You dirty Moors, man. Trying to equate legalize the law, man. How incompetent as you can be. But it ain't no stopping the movement, cause all I got the front seat. Better get your mind right. Real boys about to highlight. Real boys about to hype. Y'all just looking for the limelight. Yeah, you were really studying. You would know English and recognize this is more. They really
think you got SCW.
Y'all niggas please.
Hilarious. You believe it.
Please. Yeah, I know this for sure. I smell an agent. You smell an agent. I smell an agent. Yeah.
You better watch it, boy. Fight the sellout, lurk in the corner, and best believe they coming with that folly, taking you under.
I smell an agent. You smell an agent. I smell an agent. Yeah.
You better watch it, boy. Fight the sellout, lurk in the corner, and best believe they coming with that folly, taking you under.
What you talking? Me and my elders good. If you out here Jewish students, I know you wish you would. We know y'all lame. Skins of operations is the name of the game. On me and it fits like a glove, man. Oh, no, you need my people the wrong way. And listen to way, yeah, my people never gonna take the air. It never fails. False fathers lead the thoughts. Those who don't enforce the Constitution pay the cost. What y'all waiting on? Prophet gave us everything to save the nation.
Okay, you don't want to address the elephant in the room that we're sitting around sellouts this morning. The fact of the matter is that people say about the Morris movement since 1929.
I smell an agent. You smell an agent. I smell an agent. Yeah.
You better watch it, boy. Fight them sellouts, lurk in the corner, and best believe they coming with that folly, taking you under.
I smell an agent. You smell an agent. I smell an agent. Yeah.
You better watch it, boy. Fight them sellouts, lurk in the corner, and best believe they coming with that folly, taking you under.
Forget what them cats talking about. Go to RBBaypublications.com.
Just stop right there. So all you have to do, go to rvbaypublications.com and study. All you gotta do is go study. That's all. You don't have to do anything else. Just go study. Shut the hell up. Turn off whatever and go study. Right? African is synonymous with Moor, and Moors can't be immigrants. Jackass, roots words 1. Mr. Taharka Bay Dick Rider. We heard you get your shout out last night, roots words 1. So go ride Taharka's dick, roots words 1. Thank you for coming by, but we don't deal with coming over here. We're not homoerotic dick riders. So go back over to Taharka's chat. Go back over there. Go back over there. That's your jurisdiction, over there. Clowns. Clowns. Just trolling. That's all you do. Troll. You could troll. Because we're already under the powers. Just check the numbers right now. 55 people, so you're already getting hexed. Keep playing. See how long you're going to last in your little basement there. See how long. See how long. Keep playing. Orishas are working, huh? Don't get it messed up. Do not get it messed up. Anything that you see happen, no, the Orishas did it to you. Because you're a dick rider. Dirty Moor watch. Dirty Moor watch. It's called the Dirty Moors.
Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you? I see what I'm saying. I thought that's what I'm saying, that you done fucked up. Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you? I see what I'm saying. I thought that's what I'm saying, that you done fucked up now, you know that, don't you? Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
I still have said, I thought that's what I'm saying, that I fucked up now. You know that, don't you?
You know that? You know how bad? You know how bad? So we don't even have to fair use because people want to say my name in their video. So F your fair use. F your fair use. Because you in people's basement mores, don't even have your own basement, you're in somebody else's basement talking BS. Why you take down all those stuff? Let's see what's behind all that stuff that you got right there. What's back there? That's like other people going to their aunt's house making videos. Didn't even take the Jesus off the wall. They're talking about some black power. FOH, all you people. Nobody already laid it down. More said it in the song. Man brought everything it takes to save a nation. Who the hell are you guys? Who do you think you are? You run some Moorish or whatever. This man came in 1900s with everything to save a nation. 2018. You're somebody? Because you have some charter? For some sellouts? Before you get down with the program, I know it's about uplifting our people. The people who are the ones that are riding the board through the wave are the ones that you're gonna go for. You're not going for the guy who wave eats him. He sucks on the board. And these sucks keep on to say Cujo's name. And again, it's all learning because we already played all the stuff to show you that we don't care about these people. There's no unity with these people. And we're not even gonna call them dirty Moors anymore. We'll call them black devils now. We're gonna bring Prodigy back. F all you black devils. Fez wearing black devils. We see you. Been seeing you. We have the audio tape. We just didn't put it out yet. But yo, stop saying people's name, bro. We have files on you. Talking about. Think we can end you right now? End everything right now. No more Moorish community, nothing. And not even because of us, because of other people. We're tired of the BS. All the people who you see they're quiet, they don't say nothing about Cujo because they know we got files on them. All these people are dirty. What is wrong with you? Black devils, the whole conscious community and blah, 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 blah. And then some of the Moors are in that. Yeah, there's some, honest to the good people in the conscious community. Well, but if you're really that conscious, you'll be more. Stop playing, because you already know what's up. There's sisters who I know that put them on this info. 08, 09. Their children's L right now going to school or whatever. Talking about. Can't say we haven't done our work. And then on top of that, people before us, work we did ain't nothing compared to people before us who did work with this Moorish movement. Worth work. Not just talking about stuff. But you want to say Cujo's name, so all right, fine. Let's see what's up. Since you want to be the Satanetter of the Moors, All right. You saw Night of the Moors? All right, cool. Made a video, said my name in it on some BS. We're still waiting for that book that you say that you're writing. You're telling me about some challenge. Please. Think you have a big picture of Noble Drew Ali, that means something? Picture ain't nothing. That's paper. The hell is that? So you have a big picture that means something? You spit shine the freaking picture, so you're the more. And there ain't mores who rep you. What happened to the Seattle lecture? Told you we got files on you, bro. Stop playing. How come you didn't do the Seattle lecture? Hey, anybody who knows, ask him, how come you didn't do the Seattle lecture? At the bookstore, where Kudrow went to do a lecture. And that was the first time that they had a lecture of that magnitude there. No, it's on YouTube, because we don't hide anything. We put everything out there because it's the people's stuff. It has nothing to do with us. Just go check. Canaanland, more Seattle. And then people are gonna try to go jack what we established there. Yo, we established something there. Go back, watch the Seattle stuff. You think that we don't have the inside scoop? Think we don't have the inside scoop? Why these so-called Morris Science Temple right now are trying to get that spot to do BS with it? When we had it lock, stock, barrel, we knew the people who have the spot sat down, chill with those Moors. Family-owned spot. Nobody can't touch it. Nobody. City can't touch it. City can't touch it to the point where city's like, well, we're going to make it a national whatever because it's the first black whatever that's been in Seattle. City, European whoever's, there's a black store that whatever. But then when you check it, you check the owner, who rest in peace, and she was Black Panther, Zulu, Moors, name it, because this is a gigantic space. Books everywhere. Books that your mind just can't really deal with it. So you just do something else while you're in there because it's just too much books. And Moors infiltrated the concept of going with the whole, this was my perspective. Well, go with the whole city, whatever. Get whatever grant, whatever like that city's gonna give you. Fix up the spot. Make it a real monument. Get the front done or whatever like that. Get the marble, do whatever. Because they'll pay for it. Why not? It's there. Why not? You're going in there as Moor. You're not going in there as Negro. And get everything that they're going to give. And turn that into what it's supposed to be. Nah. They want to make it a temple only. And just do temple stuff. Which they're not doing anything. That since the time we're there, that spot could have been, you know what that spot could have been? No dust spot could have been. And again, you know, nobody can touch it. It's their stuff. So they always have it. But there was a plan in place. They were gonna do the lecture or whatever. Go inside the place. I'm like, this is you guys' stuff. And it's not even like those Moors weren't already on it. But this is the thing with the sellout, that the sellout always wants to play ownership with the birthright instead of letting people exercise their birthright. Whatever the hell happens to them, that's on them because they're the one exercising. Because it's their birthright. Whatever goes on, whether it's positive, negative, that's on them. Has nothing to do with anybody else but them. They're going through that for themselves. Period. It's the people's birthright to hopefully study and do with it properly what they're supposed to do with it, not just be dumbasses with the birthright. But again, this is why there's a temple, because it's supposed to be an institution to teach the people to be better citizens. Obviously, there's something higher than citizen to be if he's going to make you better citizens, because better is not the pinnacle. Better is on the way to something greater than better. So if he's going greater than better, then obviously he's talking about being beyond a citizen. And he's just trying to make us better citizens because we're dumb niggers. And then we want to play around like we're Moors because we got fezzes and we got Noble Drew Ali and the flag and we got the big picture of him and you should be a Moor and come to join our stuff because we'll join what? What are you talking about? Join something. This is people's birthright. How about just give them their birthright? Are you playing around? But they like to play around, right? So you have this Moor that went through some deportation madness in the jail and the detained and go through all the stuff, right? I don't think once they spoke from the perspective of like prison industrial complex. It was just on the perspective of, well, yeah, you know, they do this there, they do that there, they're corrupt, but it always went back to some process that he didn't do right because it came from, and then they start talking about things relative to Moors, but like it's a negative. Like, well, why are you talking like it's a negative? Why are you talking like standing on your square is a negative? Why are you talking like exercising birthrights is a negative? So they're using this deportation, whatever, to push their agenda of, you know, be part of the corporation. Because Moor Science Temple is a corporation. So then you should just be part of the corporation and be a citizen, and then you wouldn't be worried about getting deported. No, I'm Aboriginal Indigenous to here. What do you mean? I have to be a citizen. What do you mean I have to be part of the corporation? Why do I have to be part of the corporation? If I'm a Moor, whether I'm in my own land, not in my own land, why do I have to be part of a corporation? I'm part of a corporation. So they're pushing this idea of be part of the corporation so the deportation doesn't happen. Now that sounds counter Noble Drew Ali to me, but People have their perspectives and they're allowed in this jurisdiction to express their opinion. But we don't have to fall for your BS or play your BS when your opinion is folly. And again, it's always just always using the piñata. So by the time we're done beating the piñata to death, whatever falls out, you'll be able to see. Oh, wow, it was, okay. There really was stuff in there. It wasn't about the surface. It was about what was inside. Okay, again. So we'll do it's going to be a fast rundown. It's not too much, but at the same time, it's enough that we can get some things on the record.
When he got nationalized as a minor, did he have a letter from his legal guardian to say that it was okay for him to be nationalized? Well, the person who performing the nationalized, the quote unquote, the nationalization ceremony, that's their objective. That should be their responsibility if a child walk in and say, "Where's your parents?" So that's not, I don't want to trivialize that question. But we will, brother, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, I answered the question, and the answer is no. I was, grown enough. In Islam, you're considered a man at 13. So from the age of 13, when I took Shahada, I was considered a man. So when I came to the temple and was seeking, to be nationalized, they assumed me as a man. That's Islamic law.
Right. And I know if somebody was to come into my temple and they was 15 years old, I'm literally asking, where your parents at? I mean, that's just me, but I mean, I don't want to trivialize that. And then my brother says that he says that what's the next question? He says he goes back to 27th and Howard Street and he have not seen.
So this may be a little crazy, but this one online business that I have going has generated me $19,000.
That's how you know the ones that are
and
getting their stuff.
This brother. Now, one thing I always do, family, if you know your brother Tahaka Bay, one thing that I always do is I try to make sure that I don't get myself into a pickle. And I look at things from a perspective. If you don't know me by now, if you haven't watched my show, then the thing is you done missed out because I do thorough follow-up or research as it relates to somebody making a claim, especially a claim against or concerning somebody I consider my friend. So, but I'm for the truth, and it is what it is. So the brother has provided me with documentation of his experience, and the documentation of his experience. This is the ICE detainee request form, and as you can see, as striplet L, he got on here. I'm a Moorish American. He's doing with Cujo and them say, stand on your square. I mean, stand on your square. He's standing on his square. And here, I think this is this where you're writing the judge or something?
Yeah.
My name is Bernardine Striplet L. I am a Moorish American. As a Moorish American, I am a citizen of the USA.
Right? Right there, out of his own mouth, he's claiming that he's a Moorish American, but he's claiming he's part of the corporation. If you're part of the corporation, then your Moorish American is waived, and now they have jurisdiction. That's why you're being detained, not arrested, not charged with anything, just holding you, because they know visually that you're not a citizen of the U.S.A. because a citizen of the U.S.A. is a European. There's no Asiatic citizens of the U.S.A. The only citizens of the U.S.A. are modern Europeans in America that are foreigners here. They know he's not that. On top of that, they have in their own law that niggers can't be citizens of the U.S.A. And a nigger is a Moorish American that doesn't know he's Moorish American, he thinks he's a nigger. Now, when we go back, Moors know that any whatever you're putting your autograph on, that you reserve your rights, even if you're putting your free national name. This is what Cujo and them, no, we don't tell people put their autograph without reserving their rights. We never teach that. So F you, Taharka Bay, because we don't teach that. Yeah, we teach stand on your square. Yeah, if you got to put you're a Moorish American on there, put that on there. But then again, if the country you're putting is Haiti, which again is corporate jurisdiction, then you're claiming that you're part of the jurisdiction. Because outside of moral science, if you're from there, you know that you're Aboriginal Indigenous and you're not no citizen of no U.S.A. Now, if the people run that jurisdiction and they have their government that they put in place and they're exercising their birthright, and that jurisdiction is in the United States of America, not the U.S.A., but the United States of America, then you could mean one of the bodies of nationals that have their flag and have their whatever that are on these continents called the Americas. But to not reserve your rights on a contract with these U.S., they're not U.S.A. Department of Homeland Security, U.S., no A. So they are letting you know what their jurisdiction is. But don't try to call my name in people getting arrested, just like you called Taj name and Corin Gaines getting murdered, and you call RV Bay name and certain people getting. Don't even play those ones because you're damaging yourself because we got files on you. Shut the hell up. Stop the BS. And you've been warned already in chats to stop the BS. In your own chat, you got warned, and then you block people when they warned you. We got files on you. We're not playing your game. Right? There's too much to this to use this as a reference. Right? Because the perspective is that he went to a temple and look what this temple did. Right? That his grand sheik sent letters to the whoever, and the whoever didn't even take him serious or whatever. Of course, because this is about birthright. This is about every single thing that you go through is a lesson. Are you open to learning? If you're not open to learning, then you're going to repeat stuff. Until, like Noble Drew Ali says, pain. And then you realize. Because for some people, that's what it takes. Some people have to go, that's just what, pain is how you learn. But they're playing this game like implicating the temple while implicating Moorish nationals in a Moor facing a deportation. Opposed to look at it just like what we're doing. All right, well, you know, first thing, you didn't reserve your rights. You know what I mean? You have Haiti on there. You can't say that you're L, but then you're talking about Haiti. You know? Like, I'm a Moorish American should have been the autograph. You will see a judge, but the date has not been set. Right? He goes through the things about, you know, him wanting blankets and him needing a jacket, and he's vegetarian, he eats organic, right? Things that you have a right to. If you're quote unquote talking religion to these people, they get that. And they'll say, yeah, sure, no problem. They'll accommodate your requests because it's an actual real thing. It's not some stuff you're making up trying to get out of something. You actually have a religious right to your religious properties. Like we tell Moors, we have chaplains that call us to say, yeah, the Moors want their Qurans. Chaplain will tell us personally, put it in my name. Don't put it in their name. Put it in my name so that I can take it to them personally as the chaplain. Why? Because it's religious that they're dealing with. So it's not a sense of a grand sheik is going to do something. That'll have to be a request from them. If they go to that Moor and say, hey, Moor, you got somebody that we can call to verify, you know what I mean, your position, and he gives them his grand sheik or her grand sheik, and they call, and grand sheik says, yo, yeah, I know brother is Stiplet L. He's a Moorish American. Oh, all right, thank you very much. Sorry about that. And man gets released. That's the exercising your religious right. Because they already know what the expectation is. But if people are taking the religious right and they're talking about sing some hymns to Noble Drew Ali or whatever, and then they're writing letters to somebody talking about they got some. What are you talking about? You sing hymns. What do you mean you got some authority of something over some Moorish American that we have kidnapped in here? Right? So what did the Moor do? What a Moor would do, an active Moor would do. Write your own stuff. Make your complaint. Create your cause of action and submit it, which is where he went with it. And then with whatever it is that happened, the fact is that as a Moorish American, by him having L on their paper, that implicates them in human trafficking. They're not supposed to have L's up in there. They were supposed to have 14th Amendments in there. People who have nationalities aren't supposed, but again, that's why they do detain. When they're dealing with quote unquote illegal aliens or immigrants, they're detained. Now we know Moors that have had these situations that they're using out here in their quote unquote Canadian version of SPLC, that they put out something called Organized Pseudo Legal Commercial Argument, OPCA. OPCA. Now keep in mind, the Law Society of quote unquote Canada has already sent us letters. We've sent letters back and forth, and they ain't talking about we're part of no organized pseudo legal argument BS. Right? We showed you that we went to the mayor, got our Aboriginal Indigenous proclamation. They didn't talk about any OPCA with us. But this is what these same Moors are trying to tie us to, just like they're using SPLC. Because trust me, they look for Moors who are talking BS about what we do as far as our exercising of our birthright as active Moors, who know that this is about birthright, this is about what I know. So I'm exercising based on what I know. Regardless of what the situation is, I'm exercising based on what I know. And those who are really in the know, sometimes, spirit jumps in and it's not even them. And they get out of some crazy ones that where you say, no way he got out of that. How did he get out of that? It had to be the higher power. There's no way that just he got out of that. Introduction to Organized Pseudo Legal Commercial Argument Litigants. This court, Ontario Court of Justice, has developed a new awareness and understanding of a category of vexatious litigant. As we shall see, while there is often a lack of homogeneity and some individuals or groups have no name or special identity, they, by their own admission or by descriptions given by others, often fall into the following descriptions: detaxers, free men or free man on the land, sovereign men or sovereign citizens, Church of Ecumenical Redemption International, Moorish law, and other labels. There is no closed list. In the absence of a better moniker, I have collectively labeled them as organized, pseudo-legal, commercial argument litigants, to functionally define them collectively for what they literally are. These persons employ a collection of techniques and arguments promoted and sold by quote-unquote gurus to disrupt court operations and to attempt to frustrate the legal rights of governments, corporations, and individuals. Now, when they go to, now you're also going to, this is from Meads versus Meads, 2012. So 2012, there was this influx of people in the jurisdiction up north that, through doing research, people who were, you know, members of parliament here, people who were prime ministers, people who were premiers, people who had certain positions, started realizing certain fraud, and they were talking up about stuff. They were quitting their whatever, working for the Queen job, and they started just putting out information. And one of those people was Canada, the Country Without a Constitution book. Canada, the Country Without a Constitution. So they see what the Moors are doing and tie it to what they've seen these Europeans doing, because they have no reference point for what it is here. They've never encountered this. Remember, this is 2012, the Meads versus Meads case. MEADS versus MEADS. And then this is the case that they use out here. Anytime a Moor has something that's big, and they start talking about nationality and stuff like that, they're going right to the Moorish law part. Now, this is the interesting part about the Moorish law part. Moorish law. Edmonton is home to Sean Henry, typically styled Chief Nanya Shabu El of Atsikata Nation of Yamasee Moors, or less commonly, Sean Henry Bay. One of Canada's very few Moorish law OPCA litigants. He has frequently appeared in this court. Right now, remember, pre this, pre-2012, we were in contact with Chief Nanya Shabuel. And you could already just go watch Debris of Dirty Moors, and that has that whole breakdown. So we're going to skip over his part because that's in there. You can go check that for that. Though it may seem unlikely to many readers, Henry is not alone in his peculiar beliefs. Shakes versus Canada, Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness, 2011, right? So 2011. Reports on another Moorish law OPCA litigant who claimed to be named El Afif Hassan Hatep Bey. In this action, the litigant resisted a deportation order of the Immigration and Refugee Board of Canada Immigration Appeal Division. Paragraph 10 describes the litigant's materials. The attached 7 pages consisted of a color photocopy of what purports to be the Moorish American nationality card of a certain El Afif Hassan Hatep Bey. Pages 2 through 7 purport to be a judicial notice and proclamation signed by El Afif Hatep Bey on January 5th, 2010, in which he makes certain claims to title, rights, and privileges on the basis of his being a noble of the Al-Moroccan Empire. Written in legalese and citing various statutes of United States, international treaties and covenants, and extensive U.S. case law, the documents purports to deny the jurisdiction of the governments of the Americas over the members of the Al-Moroccan Empire, and in particular, El Hafif Hassan Hatep Bey, and to establish him and other members as sovereign entities. The decision reviews other documents received, including a writ of right constituting notice of default judgment, rejection of the Immigration Appeal Division as not authorized by American law, and a claim of right appellation name correction pursuant to indigenous nationality and Aboriginal citizenship, whereby Shakes renounces his name in favor of El Afif Hassan Hatep Bey. The litigant was ordered deported and a subsequent appeal with counsel was denied. The board concluded at paragraph 32. Now, a reasonable person viewing the various documents submitted by the applicant in the name of El Afif Hassan Hatep Bey could reasonably be expected to conclude that he was mad and delusional. However, from reading these documents, it is abundantly clear to the panel that the appellant is not mad, although he might be self-delusional. Rather, the appellant is apparently making a political statement. And by the way, Brother Bey is doing well. No deportation. And not braggadocio, but the Moor stood on his right, regardless of what they did. The Moor stood on his right, was doing his own paperwork, might need a signature. Other than that, doing his paperwork. Might come get a seal. Doing his studying. Exercised his right. So, yeah, there are certain things that we do teach. But one thing we don't teach, the one thing that we make sure we don't teach is don't follow people. Make sure you don't play the game of follower Islam work. Make sure that you're studying. Make sure that you know, just based on the fact that you have a right to know. And if you have a right to know and want to remain ignorant, then you're a black devil. And you really shouldn't be around. Because you're toxic and you're going to infect other people with your ignorance. But we were bringing up this thing about Mars. Cujo said this and Cujo said that. We showed you how they put, now remember, there was no deportation with Brother Afif Bey, but they still have it in the thing trying to say that there's a Moorish law connection to these fake litigant people all those people happen to be Europeans. Why they lumping us in with that? But then, if that's not enough, there was another Moor. Moor had his situation, had time, just like the brother that Morisco World TV had on. Had time, but he wasn't detained. He actually had time. So did the time and then got released. And this is how that transpired. Islam more. Yo, you heard majority of that?
Oh yeah, I've been listening in.
All right. I don't know if Islam. I don't know if you're able to come off speaker because there's echo where you're at.
Okay, let me see if I can. Is that better?
Say that again?
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, yeah. So to touch on the whole immigration issue, pardon the interjection. It's Brother Rennie, by the way, speaking for anybody that mentioned or knows Brother Rennie. So I've been going through my immigration stuff for probably like 2 years now. With the outcomes in my favor. As you all, some of you know, I got I incarcerated for a year. My time came out. They wanted to interview me. They made their decision. I had a judicial. It wasn't a judicial. It was a hearing. It was a judicial hearing, I would say. And at that hearing, the brothers came to support me. Grand Sheik Cujo, Brother Osiris, all the brothers from all the brothers from over here in Canaanland. We just came through to support me, and it uplifted me more in the sense that it gave me more confidence, and also showed them that, in a sense that there's unity, that this is real. What I'm presenting is real, because they're looking at it. If I were by myself, then they probably wouldn't take me as serious, right? So during the course of the interview, she asked me questions. They didn't ask me much questions, but she made the findings or the allegations based on what she found. She wasn't looking for no like the judicial review was just to see the findings, if the findings in what their allegations were with because they have a whole so-called law over here in Canada that if you get more than 6 months time, then you will be faced with deportation. So I had my interview, and I didn't do what I had to do. I put them on notice prior to arriving there. So when I did my when I did the interview with the lady, she didn't want to hear nothing about my appellation or nothing. That was irrelevant because she was only there to do the findings. So in the process of the hearing, she was asking me questions, and it's so far back. It's been so long. It's been out of the back. It's been in the back burner that I don't really fully remember the story. Right?
Yeah.
But it was overwhelming. It was very overwhelming because, you know, as a brother, you're sitting there. It's my first time there in immigration, in an interview, for them to determine whether or not I'm inadmissible in this so-called country, which is a corporate jurisdiction of Canada. So, long story short, in the end, she came up with her conclusion. Her conclusion was she found me inadmissible in the country, and she's gonna find me. So they're gonna look to deport me. So I showed her. She said, I presented to her the fact that how can you be deporting someone that's been on the land that's before you guys had this agency, so-called Canada Border Service Agency, set up before you guys. My ancestors were over here before you guys. Long story short, she's not trying to hear that. But the one thing I do know that she went by was the fact that she had to stick by her protocol, and her protocol was that she's only looking for concrete facts pertaining to what the stuff was. Because mind you, I got caught up with my straw man. So it had nothing to do with my free national, but me putting my free national on there, it sort of protected me, right? It sort of protected, put a layer over top of the straw, because in a sense, I'm the authorized representative for the straw. So in a sense, they had no one to talk for it, so I was there to talk for it. So me being there, putting my status on the record, I am Rennie Day, ex-relation, straw man, right? Inappropriate persona, sui juris, you know, in full life, not pro se, and I had to let her know that I was there by threat, duress, and coercion. And then she asked me when she did her finding, because she just has to go by her protocol. She's literally like a robot. She's not hearing what I'm saying. She has no jurisdiction to even hear what I'm saying, because she doesn't even have the authority to even be hearing me. So me saying that I'm Rennie Day, ex-relation, she put that on the deportation order. So I made her put because she's about to write my straw man on the contract to say that, you know, the straw man's getting deported. So I said, I'm not the straw man though. So who are you talking to? So she, in a sense, had enough respect from her seeing my perspective and where I was coming from as a Moorish American national. She had the respect to even put my Rennie Day on the document for the deportation order. But when you look in the law, you can't. That has nothing to do with who. Because mind you, the deportation order is for the straw, not for the free national. So she ended up putting the deportation order for the free national and not the straw. Well, she ex-relationed the straw. But she did as I told her. Long story short, she did as I told her, and she gave me the option of what she did. What I took note of also was they told me that anybody deported after reduced 6 months is not. They don't have the right to an appeal. So that was one of the stipulations. They don't have the right to appeal. So if you got found inadmissible for any serious criminality or whatever, and you did more than 6 months, it's considered serious criminality. So she ended up saying that I was not able to appeal what her decision was. So me being studied up, and the brothers there being with me, like Grand Sheik Cujo and Osiris and Brother Noor, and there's a few other brothers there, but give thanks to them for being there, because we all use our heads together. And Cujo had mentioned that once you just, you know how Grand Sheik Cujo is, he said to me, why don't you just give it a try? You know, you'll never know if you try, right? So as I'm there, I'm filling out the form. Well, mind you, she told me I'm not allowed to do an appeal because guys that have done more than 6 months and they've been found for serious criminality. And serious criminality is anything more than 6 months is what they consider serious criminality in their eyes, right? So mind you, that's de facto style. So in the course of me filling out the appeal, handed it off, and that was the end of the detention or the review, right? But from my knowledge and knowing people that have gone through immigration, they wouldn't get the kind of treatment as what, well, I wouldn't say treatment. They wouldn't get the kind of remedy as the remedy that I would be getting, because of the fact that me knowing what I know and not being a Negro, black, colored, and me putting my status on the record, my claim of right, my name correction, all that, even the rights of the indigenous, rights of the Declaration of Human Rights, 1948, and Article 14. It states the freedom of movement. It says that everybody has the freedom of movement from any country. So I used that and put it in my written discovery. So, you know, obviously, you know, they're in dishonor, right? So they dishonored the writ. So that they acquiesced. So which stands as true. So I sent them the default, no response. So I went through the motion. I'm waiting for my appeal to come in. My appeal came in. So my appeal came in. I went for my appeal. In the course of my appeal and sending them the writ, they didn't want to communicate with me by going in the belly of the beast, which is the courthouse or the judiciary, the administrative building. So they only wanted to correspond with me, and they even let me know that we have the right to correspond with each other by way of writs. So they didn't want to want me to physically come in. They just wanted me to physically or mentally and physically communicate with them by way of writs. So I was sending them the writ, and they sent me back the writ in the course of my appeal, saying that they had no jurisdiction over the case because of the fact that they don't have their de facto. They admitted that they're de facto and that they don't have jurisdiction to hear the case. So the only way that it could be heard is in the court of the Supreme Court of Justice, the Supreme Court of Canada, which is the top, which is also fraud. The top court in Canada, so-called corporate Canada, their top court, Supreme Canada, which is in Ottawa, their business head office. That's the only place that they said that they had jurisdiction. That's the only people they said had jurisdiction. So when I sent it to them, now it's been a year, and I still haven't gotten a response from them. And I even got a letter that they rendered a decision as to what they're going to do with my overall case. And this was like a month ago. So mind you, I came out in 2015. I came out in 2015, and it's 2018 now. So it's been a while since immigration is, you know, and they have their protocol is they like to do things very swift. You know, they don't like to waste time with getting rid of these corps because, mind you, you're under their jurisdiction. They can do whatever they want with you. For me, you don't put your status on the record, then it's fair game, right? It's just like someone walking to your house and you see him eating your food and your chips and sitting on your couch and watching your TV and pressing the buttons and going and use laying on your bed, and you're just standing there looking at him. You acquiesce. You don't know that you have the right to kick him out. Then he's gonna be in there, knowing that he has the right to be there, right? For as long as he wants to be, till you tell him to get out, right? So that's the same sense of knowing who you are and letting them know who you are, right? So that the whole immigration thing it says it right there. It's agencies, right? It's agencies. You're dealing with literally an agent, right? They're higher ups. They have the higher ups. You have in fact, our immigration minister is actually a Hindustani. So they have something going on in the realm of their de facto jurisdiction, right? But overall, like Grand Sheik Kudo said, we've been getting favorable replies by standing on our square and honoring our ancestors and, being guided by the Prophet and Allah. Nothing else, right? Keeping them up front, right? It's not about, idol worship, or it's not about bragging, because I don't even I don't even like to really talk about this because I feel like you'll screw up the energy of what's really going on, right? That's how I feel about the whole spirituality and the divine side of this movement. You know, there is a divine side, literally. Like, there's a national side, which is, you know, being civic-minded and, you know, handling your affairs. But the divine side is knowing that we're all connected as one and that the ancestors are guiding us to a place or destination that's not unknown, that's not uncertain nor unknown to man. So that's my way of train of thought and coming into this movement for being in. I've been on this since 2013, 2014. So me knowing what I know and doing what I do, it's not nothing to boast about. It's not nothing to brag or boast about. It's something that you gotta. It's high self-law master. You're your own master. No one else is gonna take up. No one else. If I didn't think to write a writ or send a writ, then the reply probably wouldn't have been a favorable one in my favor. So that's how I look at it too. So if I didn't take the time to sit down and say, okay, right, they said they have this, you know, the Declaration of Rights on Human Rights, 1948. They have the rights of the child from birth, you know, things like that. Those things that you can include in your writ to show them that you know the fraud's going on. You might not get a response from them, but the way they do, the energy of how they do things, is you can't even explain it. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
I can't really explain it. I'm just speaking from what's going on, but the whole realm of things and how I'm being guided by Allah, it's unexplainable. Right? Yeah. I'm still here. It's been, you know, there's a lot of people thinking, oh, you know, Rennie's gone, he's gone, you know, Rennie's gone, but I'm still here. You know, I'm still keeping the prophet up front. I don't, you know, I know I'm a Moor. So the next brother that doesn't know he's a Moor, I feel like if I were to be boasty or cocky with them on that level, energy would switch up. So I just keep it at a certain level or energy where everything is balanced out in a way where, you know, the karmic debt won't be coming back on my side because of the fact that I'm keeping my deeds higher than my desires.
Right.
Right? So that's how I look at it, right? So that's why I feel like in my way, because I can't really explain what's going on, because even the letter the other day, they sent me a letter saying we've made a decision in conclusion to your whole overall immigration appealing. So when I got the letter, I'm saying, okay, well, all right, so it's been going on. It's been going on for 2 years, right? I mean, they do things swiftly, right? And people are getting deported every day, right? So when I looked at the I skipped the part. My mother let me know that someone called the phone, the house phone let me know, whatever. So I said, "Who?" She's like, "Oh, I don't know, some lady. Listen to the message." So when I was listening to the message, it was mentioning that, "Hey, Rennie, the letter that you got, because they sent me a letter saying that we want you to come in because we want to interview you we rendered the decision, but to receive the decision, you have to come in and whatever, whatnot, not." So, long story short, they pretty much said in the phone call, because I got the letter prior to the phone call telling me to come in. They sent me a phone call, I guess, whatever, you know, the enemy. Like I said, everything is guided by Allah and spirits. I'm literally looking at it like that. Everything is spirit, spirit man, right? So we literally have to look at the spirit side because of the fact that they no way. That's all frequency. That's all frequency. What transpired on that day? How the lady called me and said, "Don't worry about coming in because whatever." She never even gave me an explanation as to why I shouldn't come in. She said, "Don't worry about it. A few weeks down the line, we're gonna have you know, it could be a month down the line. We'll have whatever letters or whatever. We're gonna send you a callback notice to come in or whatever." So that's what I've been dealing with. Yeah. I've been dealing with this for the past 3 years, man, since I came out. Right? I know brothers that have done their time. I met them while I was incarcerated. As soon as they're done their time, you hear that the brother got deported, man. You know, because of the fact that he didn't know the simple things like this, and it's not too hard, right? Yeah. It's not too hard to grasp. Like what I know, it's no rocket science, right? There's no rocket science. I know brothers. I know a brother right now are on here that he knows he's a Moor. He can't read and write, and he grasps what I'm on, you know. So what the conclusion to all this, man, is anybody listening to this is keep it divine and keep it national. But the most important part is divine, because divine, when you look at the divine side of things, and when you keep it divine, you'll have some wonders being worked for you in a way that you cannot, words that cannot be told, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I've been. That's my spiritual ride with this movement. It's been a spiritual journey, man. You know, from when I got incarcerated back in 2014, I got when I did my was it 2015, 2014 was when I went in, and was it 2014, 2015 when I went in, and when I came out, everybody thought I was gonna get off of this, and even when I was in there, they addressed me by my appellation, right? They never once said, you know what, forget, no, you're not that, you're this, right? They addressed me properly because I never once folded as being a Moorish American Muslim, because it's a right. It's who I am as birth, right? Something that was never, it's not, you're not made more, you're born a more. That's how I look at it. You're not made a more. You're not coming into this saying you join some organization and say you're a Moorish American. I was born a more. So I just woke up to it, right? So me literally, like, them looking at me like, no, this guy's not playing around with who he is. He's saying he's Rennie Bay and ex-relation that, so we have to respect that, right? I respect him enough. The one thing that one of the immigration officers, he actually called me by my straw man. Like, he never, from my appellation, he never once addressed me by my straw. Because I had to switch up with the officer when I went to my interview, my last interview with him, and he never once addressed me by my straw. He never once addressed me by my straw in the sense that even in the letters, they were addressing me as Rennie Bay ex-relation Nicholson, right? So it's not a game. That's all I gotta say. This movement's not a game. You gotta buckle up your belt, tie up your shoelaces, and pull up your pants, because this movement's not about hanging around for some fun joyride to know that that you're more and that's it, and everybody's finding. No, you gotta stay on top of things. You gotta literally write writs, send them out, stay on top of it, stay active. Don't be passive anytime. Anytime they send you a writ, try to counteract it. Don't look at that letter and say, you know what, yeah, you're more. Being a black person, we never knew how to write writs, and I never knew RV Bay in the sense that RV Bay taught me how to write writs. RV Bay Publications, taught me how to write writs. So from there on in, it's been fair game for me, right? It's been fair game for me, and I've been getting favorable outcome. And even if whatever they do from here on in, like Prophet Noble Ali said, this movement is guided by Allah alone, and you're guided to a place where it's not unknown nor uncertain to man. So whatever, I'm standing on my square, being a Moorish American, whatever the outcome is, which I know will be a favorable one, which it has been since for the past 2 years, and that's just the way it goes, right? But from when you lose confidence in your prophet, then things will start crumbling, man. That's all I gotta say to that whole immigration topic. Was that Brother Taharka going in on that one?
Yeah.
It's clearly the brother hasn't studied enough to know that everyone has a freedom of movement, and when you know who you are, you stand on your square, and you're sure you'll get a favorable reply. You won't you know what I mean? You won't fold on it. If you say who you say you are, you won't fold on it, and you should get a favorable reply. It shouldn't be no I don't know what's gonna go on, and you're losing confidence, right? Because if you know you're a Moor, and you know like the rights of the indigenous people, the rights of human Declaration on Human Rights, the rights of the child, all of that, even the Confederation, the Articles of Confederation of 1788. Let them know that Canada.
Let me ask you this question now. So what? Because you mentioned Taharka. So, what part does the temple play? Because your perspective sounds like a Moorish national, but they make it sound like, you know, the temple is something that Moorish nationals have nothing to do with or could never have anything to do with or whatever. What
the temple, right?
The temple has nothing to do with Moorish nationals.
That's
Like
a whole lot to do with Moorish nationals.
Moorish nationals and Moorish Science Temple are separate things, is how they talk. So
that's
just leading.
That right. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying to that is, that seems like a proactive agent. You know, someone that's leading this cause confusion, because even the word mur and more, the vowels are interchangeable. It's the same thing. Moorish national, Moorish Muslim. If it weren't for the Prophet, Noble Ali, none of us would have known we're Moors anyway, right? The Prophet did set up a temple for us to come in and learn civics and to be civilized as human beings, right? He literally, like, the temple, it teaches, it's our regency, it's our embassy. It's where we go to charge up, you know? Everybody, like, the temple is like I said, it's something you have to be there to actually feel it, to know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
The temple it's the divine and national movement of the world, right? The temple is there for your reassurance that you have a school of thought, a place where you can go, where you have brothers and sisters that can assist you when you're in adversity, you know? People that you can talk to, that can mentor you, that you know, that you want to turn to, or family services or whatever. You know, every time I go to our temple, you know, you just feel the energy as soon as you walk in. You just feel the love, you know, you feel that holy zeal of love, you know, it's flowing through your body. It just makes you feel good, like, yeah, I'm home again, you know?
Yeah.
But it doesn't, it in the sense of, so you're saying, Brother Tahark saying the temple and the Moorish Science Temple is different from the Moorish American National? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
In what way, though? I don't see in any way, because then for him to speak on something like that would just bring more confusion to anybody waking up to this knowledge. Right? So it's more or less like a diversion from the true divine and national movement. Okay,
so let me ask you this now. If you could go in then on, as a Moorish national, then what do you see the temple as and the movement as, and as far as the infrastructure of Noble Drew Ali presenting to us?
I see it as like I said, it's a school of thought. It's a place where you can go to know love. It's a place where you can go to know how to speak the truth, to know how to live in peace, to know how to live with freedom. It teaches you those lessons. I mean, Prophet Noble Drew Ali was a mastermind in the sense that when he presented the Holy Quran, he presented it in a way that our people would comprehend, because it has Jesus in it, Yahshua, Yahweh, whoever you want. But he has Jesus in it. So it's simplified for our people who are coming off the Christian mentality, because mind you, I'm coming off the Christian mentality. I'm sure we all are, before we found out about Moorish science or whoever we were, you know, whatever dogma we're on, right? It brings us back to that fold of government, the constitutional fold of government, because the Prophet did say, enforce the Constitution. He didn't say which Constitution, though, right? He said enforce the Constitution. There's the bylaw of the Constitution, and then you have the organic Constitution 1791, right? The Constitution of the Americas, right? Those things, being in the temple, you learn how to use those things for your own good, right? You learn how to be self-reliant. You learn how to be, you know, independent. You learn how to be. You want to be Islam, which is I self-law master, literally. It doesn't teach you. The temple teaches you all love, man. Like, from what I've been to, you know, the second temple we're at now, the transition to the new one. Even the first temple that I was at, it was all love, right? There was never a time when you're in the temple, you're just all love. There's no, you know, my brother, I dislike brother. You know, there's none of that. Yeah. You know, there's none of that Tahark. this confusion, because that's all he's bringing is confusion, right? Does he have a temple himself, or does he have an official temple that he goes to, that actual temple, or?
Well, so he says, but you know, we don't know because we're hearing he's living in a basement right now. He has a little corner.
Charter that he has, or
corner in a basement. I don't know.
See, that's what I'm saying, you know, because
I mean,
our temple's subordinate.
If he says that he's Grand Sheik and Divine Minister, then yeah, he has charter and all that. But his activity is not what we do.
It's not.
He has,
From what I've seen, definitely not. It just brings a whole bunch of confusion. Because even the brothers that, even another brother, brother Scully there, even that brother, he's new to the science. So even him listening to that brother, he's saying it throws off his signals, you know, makes him not want to feel more, you know?
For real.
Like things like, because it's not, because what's being presented is this, it's just division, because you're making, because now you have a choice. Either you follow what Tark is saying, or you just don't follow him and you're not a more, you know?
Yeah.
That's the conclusion that he's bringing with what he's presenting. Because I've watched a couple of the videos and it's all slander, right? I'm sure that's in our bylaw, divine constitution and bylaws. It's not your what act is that? 2 or 3 is saying don't put your brother in danger. Don't put your brother or sister in danger, right? You're bringing up words, or I'm guessing this lecture is for immigration, because he mentioned something about getting deported. I seen the title, but I didn't really get too into it. But I seen the title said something about someone got deported and was facing deportation. Because he said, I seen the key word in there, facing.
Yeah.
Just like I was facing it, you know.
Right.
I'm just sure it's like how we all face
whatever we're facing.
You know, we face like the brother down here in Canaanland. He facing fines for driving or speeding without a license or whatever, got him dismissed.
Yeah.
So we're faced with a lot of stuff. We're faced with adversity every day. We're faced with the discord, because what he's claiming to be a more, and we're claiming to be a more, you're claiming to be a more, but yet he's still saying that that's not how it goes. Then we're never gonna get anywhere. Where are we gonna, you know what I mean? How are we gonna ever have the grand major temple if this keeps going on, right? Right. When is the grand major temple ever going to come in if these kind of topics keep being brought up? Because we shouldn't even be talking about another brother saying that another, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it brings division. That's all I look at it as. It just brings a bunch of division and confusion.
Yeah.
You know? But the immigration thing with the brother facing deportation and all, I'm sure the brother, if he knows he stands on his square and he knows that there's a spiritual side to the things, then I'm sure that his outcome, like the one I've been the outcomes I've been receiving, will be favorable in his reply, right?
Yeah.
So, you gotta, that's water under the bridge. We just keep it moving as more is, right?
Right. As we do.
You know, so we need that though. We need those slanders and whatever else you want to call them, because it makes us stronger, right?
Yeah. That's
only going to make us tougher.
Yeah, without a fool.
We just counter things, right? You could have come at us like that, and we counter it, right? You claim to be a good more, then you claim to be, then you're breaking, you're just literally breaking the bylaws, the Constitution.
Violating everything.
Just violating, because you're slandering your brother. You know what I mean? And I don't want to mention this too, but you know, he mentioned how he put you up on his poster to call you a Grand Sheik. You know, the amount of books you've written.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the amount of stuff that you've done for us over here in Canada. You know, so it's just completely unnecessary, man.
Straight up.
It's completely unnecessary. You know, it's just confusion, and it's just we're gonna keep it moving, because like I said, it's water under the bridge. It's water under the bridge. So whatever he brings, we're on top of that bridge. We're on top of the bridge, and he's the water that keeps it He keeps trying to get on top of the bridge, but the bridge is too high for the water to reach up. So we just keep it moving, right?
Shit.
So yeah, man. Like I said, brother. Like anybody listening to this on the YouTube channel, it's if you just study like the prophet said, and just keep him in front, like always keep him in front. Don't be getting into no trust law and stuff. Just study what the prophet brought before you know anything. Before you want to study anything else, trust whatever. Make sure you know at least when the prophet's birthday is, at least. Right? That's all I have to say to that. Make sure you know who the prophet is, right? Make sure you keep him in front. Keep it spiritual, right? Because me being my Lord, me knowing of higher self and lower self, I know what my lower self is capable of, and I know what my higher self is capable of. Do I want to go to my lower self? Why would I? The lower self passes away, right? So it's like me being who I am and knowing higher self, and them and the immigration officers of agencies or whatever they're called, them knowing that that was them knowing and seeing for themselves that this he did a year and he's saying he was a more before he did his time and he's still saying he's a more and clearly it's just who I am, clearly this is who I am, so it ain't gonna change, brother. It ain't changing, so we just keep it moving, we just keep it studying, and another thing I wanted to mention too about the Hark situation, how he's calling out different Moors every day and whatnot, is the fact that Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey made great mention of this. He made great mention of this was the fact that in order for you to know any Grand Sheikh or so-called Grand Governor or whatever, you must literally visit their literature. Grand Sheikh Cujo Alwell, I know he's written a few books. When I was incarcerated, I got a few books. Watch My Prophecies, Welcome to Canada. There's a few more that he's written, but just to show you, just to give you an idea. I don't know if the Hark's written any books, but if he has, please, I would like a copy, because I would like to see what the brother's really trying to convey to the masses out here, because we're in the Aquarian age, the age of knowing, the age of waking up and knowing how to be self. So if this is where it's going, where we have Moors knowing that they've been Moors forever, and you have people coming into the movement, finding out about their birthright and nationality, and you have Moors like for the brother there, calling out more other Moors and slandering Moors who have done more than he has, then it's just folly, man. They just keep like water on the bridge, keep it moving.
Shit. Islam, more.
Islam, brother.
Give thanks, yo. I know you had a long day.
Yeah. It was a long day, man. Every house needs walls, so we just keep it moving, right?
Shit.
Yeah, man. But yeah, just like I said, Grand Sheikh, it's watered under the bridge, man. So whatever it is, I know you're gonna counter it and prove otherwise that's not what it is. So I appreciate you doing what you're doing, brother.
Peace, more. You already know, fam.
You already know, brother.
We'll build more.
I'll be listening in. Peace and love,
yeah,
brother.
yeah, Islam, more.
More online.
Peace.
Islam.
Right, they're gonna say, where's the proof? Prove that whatever. Prove that this works and that works. Shut the hell up. You have to prove anything. What's there to prove? Nothing to prove. Nothing. These dirties are crazy. So I guess no Moors have questions out there, which is excellent. It means Moors are studying. They know what's up. Well, there was a couple. Oh yeah. Let's just do it this way. Let's do it this way instead. Let's give you one more.
Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you? I see what I'm saying. I thought that's what I'm saying, that you done fucked up now, you know that, don't you? Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you? I see what. Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
You shouldn't have messed with me. And we didn't even pull the file cabinet yet on you. You didn't even pull the file cabinet yet. Hmm? You want to call people's name. This guy, he's Moors. Where is he at? There you are.
You know.
There you are, bastard. Let's see what you had to say now. Talking crazy. First thing up, go back to Europe, Alibaba. You're not even the Bay or L. You're not even on Latif levels, European. You need to go back to Europe. Latif could stay, you need to go back to Europe. You need to go back. You would love to go back to Europe. Why are you paying your way? Why are we paying your way to go back to Europe? Like you can't afford the ticket or something. FOH. So I've heard a number of so-called Moorish videos where people claim that the United States is Morocco. With that being said, can you explain the governing body of United States of Morocco? And a number of you call states territories. Can you please explain the governing bodies of these territories? Then I will go back into the cave where you meet. Whoa, all right. So, for all the people who want to learn, there's no such things as United States of Morocco. That's BS. The only United States of Morocco would have been the Barbary states of the Americas. So you have all these Arabic name places here and Hebraic name places here and Egyptian name places here, because all this is Morocco. All this is a Mexum. All this is a Mexum. We say territories because states are corpses. So because the states are corpse, we don't say states. We say territories. If you hear more say territories, that's why they say territories, because they don't want to say states. Because if they say states, they're saying they're part of the corpse. And Moors who study do not want to be part of the corpse. Right? Moors don't claim the United States is Morocco. The United States is a corporation. Moors claim that the jurisdiction above Mexico is Morocco. U.S., United States, that's corporation. That has nothing to do with geographical landmass. So forget United States is anything. United States is nothing. That's not even anything in the conversation. Nothing to do with the subject matter. We're talking about geographical location. Morocco. The governing body of Morocco are the customs of the Aboriginal and Indigenous people. That's first and foremost, respecting our culture and our ways. We don't need a White House and all that BS. The hell do you need a White House for? For what? It's the purpose of a Senate building. To do what? Those people aren't in there doing anything for anybody. So the governing body are the Aboriginal Indigenous people. That's who governs. George Washington even told you, Europeans, that taxes have to be paid. Apologies for not paying them. So why are you pretending now like you don't know who the governing body is? I mean, who's the governing body? Who the hell gave you permission to come over here? Morocco, right? What do Morris say this is? Morocco, right? All right. So what do you mean, who is the governing body? Moors are the governing body because we're the Aboriginal Indigenous people. Morocco recognized you Europeans as United States of America because everybody was trying to take your head. And instead of you showing honors and respect to the fact that we saved your ass from the pirates and the Barbary whoever's who were trying to take your head, you're talking BS. Questioning stuff. When you're ipso jure Moorish subject, shut the hell up. Go make Latif Bey your teacher and go study. Stop being a dumbass. Or you're challenging stuff. You want to debate Taj Street Bey. Get the hell out of here. Go debate Latif Bey. Debate him. That's what I want to see. Alibaba El Camino Bey versus Latif Bey. That's what I want to see. I'll put 100 on that to see that. Winner gets the 100. Camino Bey versus Latif Bey. If you can beat Latif Bey, then we'll get you Taj. We'll get you him. We'll pay for you to have to sit down with Taj if you can tell me something more interesting than Latif Bey. I put 100 on that shit. Let me see that. Let's see some white on white crime. Let's see the white debate. Don't be mad, modern European. Don't be mad. You're ipso jure Moorish subject. Be a good subject and stop the BS. Be a good subject and support the governing body that gave you permission to be here, European, since you don't want to go back home and you want us to pay your way back home. Okay, fine. We're not paying your way. You're staying. You're ipso jure Moorish subject now. Pay your dues. Stop talking BS. And then tell all your other European friends too that they need to show honors to the Moors and pay up their dues. All that reparation finance we were supposed to get that didn't get hit off everybody. You know enough Europeans, I'm sure you know enough Europeans that you can talk to them Europeans and say, yo, the Moors are back. Just like what Latif Bey did. Latif Bey went to the Masonic Lodge when he was in Kentucky. Went to the lodge, told these people the Moors are back. They ran him out. He's a European. How's a European getting run out by some other Europeans? Oh, because he said the secret word that you're not supposed to talk about, especially as a European, and especially in favor of so show some honors. Because we know you Europeans feared the pirates. You guys were so terrified of the pirates with their little corvettes. You were so terrified. You were so terrified. And we said, let's take them out of this terror. Let's help them. No, man. Leave the Europeans alone, man. Just leave them alone. Stop kicking the stray dog. Why are you kicking the stray dog? It's still a living thing. Yeah, but it hasn't eaten in 20 days and look at it and the hair's falling off. Yeah, but why are you kicking it? Because it's a stray. Okay, you know what? We're going to do a treaty or whatever. So you guys stop kicking the stray dog. Because it's living still. Might not understand the feelings that it's expressing, but it has those. It's not completely a beast anymore. It's past the part of the caves and all that stuff now. So since they're here, there's a treaty. You could leave the stray dog alone. Try to help. Let's help nurse it back to some type of reasonable health. That's always been the plan from our ancient foremothers and forefathers, the Egyptians. They themselves taught the Europeans. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. Our vibration is love, not hate. It's been that. Then Nobujwali came and echoed that again. Show love instead of hate. Learn to love instead of hate. Why are you hating on some Europeans? It's a stray dog. Why are you kicking the stray dog? You know how mean that is? And then you're justifying it because it's a stray and all that stuff? They say, oh, more European, and then you're letting them, they're letting anything. The Europeans I know rep the Moors harder than Moors. The hell are you talking about? Europeans I know rep for Moors harder than some Moors. And you're telling me about some European who's actually going to Masons, letting them know, hey, you know the Moors are back, huh? You guys stop playing around now. Give back the stuff. What are you talking about? The Moors are back. Give back the stuff. You know, in the jurisprudence, Masonic stuff. You know the Idris Shah stuff. Moors are back. We are the governing body of these territories. Noble Ali presented to us the titles of the governing bodies. Every governing body is supposed to have a Grand Sheikh, chairman, secretary, treasurer, mufti, going down the line. Whatever quote unquote department needs to be filled. And then there will be that in every state. And if the state, quote unquote, is big, then they would have multiple, quote unquote, subordinate temples or municipalities, opposed to the actual temple, which would be the quote-unquote state. This is why Moors were going around talking about Noble Drew Ali for president. But Moors were so Negro-minded that they missed the boat. So whether you accept the answer or not, that's what it is. Because the Moors are the heirs to the vast estate. So of course, those are going to be the people who govern. And Noble Drew Ali kept the European here long enough to teach us how to run government, and then he gave us all the parts to government and told us, here is everything it takes to save a nation. Now take it and save yourself. People playing around. But, you know, like the Moor said, it's water under the bridge. So watch out for these people.
That's that Morisco Moore. Morisco TV. You dirty Moore. That's my Cujo impression. That's my Cujo impression. Morisco TV and dirty Moors over there. The temple is sold out. It's been infiltrated. Dirty Moors. Dirty Moors. That's what they do. Root word. When they can't handle the information.
Oh, who was that? Got a shout out right there? Was that? Was that the Dick Ryder getting a shout out?
When they can't handle the information, dirty Moors. That's what they do. Root word. When they can't handle the information, Moreno Bay, he won't step to the plate and challenge the information. Cujo, he won't step to the plate and challenge the information. And now we got Nas, who won't step to the plate and challenge the information. So all they better do is make up new names. Dirty Moor. Hey, brother.
Islam Moors, peace and love. We close out as we started. Just because we can. Islam Talk Moors. See you tomorrow, 7 o'clock for our Tuesday session. It's gonna be crazy.
And then we make excuses for them. They don't understand. Yes, the hell they do. We keep making excuses for people because they're Asiatic and Africans, as if they ain't sellouts, overseers, COINTELPRO operatives, because we don't expect that from them. And because they be out there in the venue. You know and I know. What, 94, 95? 1995? Me and Hannibal went up there and nationalized them and say, I don't knock them. Let them do what they do. You know what I mean? I don't even battle with them. I just keep it moving, keep taking it to the people. And knowing that as the people get this information, they themselves, some of them same people that's been playing them and dragging their lives out, when this stuff could have been solved, will be hanging from these damn trees, including a lot of them reverends. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, when you, to keep yourself in check, every once in a while, just pull up the synopsis of COINTELPRO operations to remind yourself to stop being naive. Stop making excuses for your neighborhoods. Because they're not, it's almost like the freaky gym teacher that keeps caressing your little girl's bums at the gym class and you're saying he doesn't understand what he's doing. When no, I'm just saying this is what we keep doing rather than taking him and changing or rearranging his head. Yeah. You know, like he's Asiatic. Oh, maybe he didn't really mean it because he ain't European or something. You know what I mean? It's like, stop making excuses for these people.
Yo, subs can't fuck with the Cujo. Our sister, our friend, professional, qualified attorney, Keisha, is only here to paint a picture of how we are viewed within the traditional system. Within the traditional system. Within the traditional system.
But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroad. But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroad. But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroad. And let me stop right there. Plenty of us done that. That's nothing wrong with that. Plenty of us has trusted in a lawyer or an attorney and thought that they would be for us in the middle of our downfall or some type of error we have made or some type of way we've been set up or accident or just perfectly being railroaded. Okay, because I've done it. I've done it years ago. I haven't hired an attorney since, but I've done it years ago. And everything I've that's come my way since maybe 2011, I've beaten. Y'all go get 9 charges dismissed without an attorney. I ain't bullshit. Y'all bullshitting. I'm not bullshitting. I ain't afraid. Y'all talking about y'all banging on the cracker. Y'all ain't banging on shit. Faggot ass motherfuckers.
People are afraid to pursue their most important dreams because they feel that they don't deserve them or that they'll be unable to achieve them. We, their hearts, become fearful just thinking of loved ones who go away forever, or of moments that could have been good but weren't, or of treasures that might have been found but were forever hidden in the sand.
30 more say the prophet's name won't teach the same universal lessons, keep you slave on your brain. Wanting Moorish presidents when that's the prophet. If he was around, most grand sheiks' heads he'll off it. Guilty by association, off your head too for riding with dirt. Ones that made a mockery of Drew Ali. Dirty Moors from Canaanland to Cali. Used to be LB, now they claim Ali. Keep thinking that they for you, but get ignored. Giving lessons in pieces like a jigsaw. Leave you puzzled, your third eye muzzled, mind smuggled. Know how to say the right thing, keep lies subtle. Really win with truth bait, lying eyes and truth face. Ego must make you carry their suitcase or hold their umbrella. He walks like a fruitcake. Prophet watching from the soul plane, the route you take.
There, these grand chiefs have not told us these things, but they know these things, so they get it in that. And they've been playing do religious games. Then the Europeans, after they started getting thrown on the bus, started HMOs about 40 years ago. They ran that to the wall. Then they started white Christian sovereign, white state sovereign. Then uniform commercial code operations and financial statements 1, 3, and 9, basically financial statements. And they ran them to the wall, but as soon as they perfect the vouchers and then move on them and they threaten them or they arrest them. And this is why whenever you ask people that has any of these UCCs to sell, ask them to name 5 people that perfected them. Now, millions of people have been doing it across the country. Keep this in mind. Any marketing thing to show proof, just like if you're doing any marketing, you got to show some evidence of successes because it's still stock. These are stocks. Birth certificates, marriage certificates, original manufacturing titles, and origins are all bank bonds. Now they keep making all these processes for people to capture these things, and they can't name 5 people that perfected the discharge of the CUSIC number. We're not saying the processes in their principles incorrect. We're saying that they're rude. Now the Pope's telling you that they're rude.
Whose prince will you step in? Demons or genuines? MSTA members or Moorish Americans?
300 gangsters in the building. They don't want these problems. 300 gangsters in the building. Shout out to my man. And I ain't naming no name.
300 gangsters in the building. They don't want these problems. 90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali, but not true. Keeping you away, they have a deep 30 more crew, causing confusion. There's 30 more crew.
No probably said, you know, before I brought you your name and your nationality and the knowledge of your birthright, nobody was talking to you. Nobody was telling you anything. Everybody was living off your virtues. And now that he brought your nationality and your birthright back and gave it to you, explained it to you, set up a foundation and institution by which that information can be dispensed, now everybody wants to tell you what Islam is, what Islam is not. He said, they didn't tell you anything before. Don't let them tell you anything now.
90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali, but not true. Keeping you away, they have a deep 30 more crew, causing confusion. There's 30 more crew will tell you partial to have chains on your brain when there should be parcel, a free national name. Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open, not more the world eyes wide open. F you guys, all of you. Taharka Bay, F you, liar, goddamn liar. So here's the charter for the Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, right? Now, if you look right here, right? You see, this is the seal that Taharka showed on his show, saying that we sell these seals for $30. Taharka, make sure you bring forward the people who we sold this seal to. Just make sure you bring the people forward, all right? So the people on the other one, make sure, Taharka, I know you watch our stuff, make sure you bring forward the people who we sold this seal to for $30. Make sure. But if you don't prove your claim, you're a fucking liar. And you can go fuck yourself. 90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali, but not true. Keeping you away, they have a deep 30 more crew, causing confusion. There's 30 more crew will tell you partial to have chains on your brain when there should be parcel, a free national name. Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open, not Maurice the world eyes wide open. For her can make those lips clap, using Frank, Gary, Brother Larry, journalist traps.
A mighty soldier. He go by the name of Taharka. This brother right here. What I love about my brother Taharka is that he don't just roll over like some of the moves we know. You know, we bang on them and they just roll over and say, you know, I ain't gonna deal with that. Taharka bang, he bangs back.
Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open, not Maurice the world eyes wide open. For her can make those lips clap, using Frank, Gary, Brother Larry, journalist traps. Homoerotic, stray cat Moors, dissing the mothers, putting blame on active Moors for current gains and others.
And it all appears legitimate on the surface, doesn't it? Until you study and find out that this is a social engineering mind control game, and they've been part of it. You can see why they're upset with us, and why the Southern Christian Poverty Law Firm sick these shills on us.
Yeah, I guess if we take the research back, they're a corrupt group that exists to raise a lot of money for mostly well-meaning but gullible donors. I get it. But what I'm shocked by is how many media organizations take them seriously, pretend that they're legitimate. Did you lodge a complaint with them?
Well, first of all, anyone that criticizes them publicly run the risk of being labeled as a hater or being placed on hate watch or being mentioned in one of their articles. And so to get branded by them, all you have to do is criticize them. In fact, you yourself is at risk of being placed on hate watch.
Oh, I'm sure that's true. I wouldn't go there. But to call an African-American woman a white supremacist, I'm sorry to laugh, it's horrible, but it's also so ludicrous that why would anyone
for white supremacy?
Why would anyone take them seriously?
I don't know. I mean, they have a lot of influence at universities, and the name, the Southern Poverty Law Center, it conjures up an image of this organization that is seeking to eradicate poverty, that's working on behalf of the downtrodden. Totally false. They do nothing really for the poor. And so they have been able to amass, millions of dollars with that image. And what they do now is really pursue an ideological leftist agenda, and they punish anyone who criticizes them.
I've posted up in there, listed from the Southern Poverty Law Firm. Let's see what the law firm, since these people are getting the advice about the law, let's see what the law firm has to say.
And why the Southern Christian Poverty Law Firm sicked these shills on us that's located here in Philadelphia. And trying to say that we set that girl up to get her killed and all that kind of stuff. And the Pope owns all of the corporate entities. And then they try to make her look like she was out to lunch because they know our people don't know this. And so she was suing them, so they put a hit on her.
Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open. Not Morisco world eyes wide open. For her could make those lips clap. Using Frank, Gary, Brother Larry, journalist traps. Homoerotic, stray cat Moors dissing the mothers. Putting blame on active Moors for current gains and others. Fake profits, heads on the coin. And pictures next to the noble. Today the treasury balance is zero, the total.
300 gangsters in the building. They don't want these powers. 300 gangsters in the building. Shout out to my man. It ain't named.
And sovereign citizen has nothing to do with sovereignty. He even said that it's an oxymoron. And you can't be a sovereign citizen at the same time. So then why are they still talking? These are dirty Moors. We're telling you, we're showing you, we're proving to you that they're dirty. If you want to follow them, that's on you. But do not ever think in your free mind that these people are going to talk crazy and we're not going to say something about it.
Study, study, when you're finished, study yourself. Dirty Moors, judge your attire and judge your bookshelf. Study, 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 when you're finished, study the law. When you study no trance by Moorish hymn composers. Study, 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 when you're finished, study the higher. Dirty Moors cook out that smell from Oscar Mayer.
Now this lamb shoulder is called a Moorish lamb shoulder. Yes, it is Moorish, as in really tasty and succulent, but Moorish as in the flavors that are going into this. You can see I've got loads of different spices here, and Moorish food is a combination of North African food, a little bit of Italian food. It's the combination of the Mediterranean and North African influence there.
Study, study, when you're finished, study yourself. Dirty Moors, judge your attire and judge your bookshelf. Study, 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 when you're finished, study the law. When you study no trance by Moorish hymn composers. Study, 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 when you're finished, study the higher. Dirty Moors cook out that smell from Oscar Mayer. Study, 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 when you're finished, it's never finished. Dirty Moors selling status correction clinics. 500 for class pass. I'd rather watch Taj.
Literature under the name Moorish Order of the Round. Excellent.
And have a clear perspective on the Moorish path. Faculty and student, Moorish Heritage History School. Don't endanger your life with a fool.
I'm not offended by it. I'm fixing it. You know what I mean? Because I ain't in it for ego. I'm in for a whole different game. You know, I'm looking head and back. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the next generation. I ain't even, you know, they can't do, I can't be bored. Simple.
Oh yeah, and in my Supreme L voice.
To the Harper, pig,
And conscious means that you're conscious of what's going on in this world. You're fully aware and awake to what's going on in this world. That's what conscious rap means. So if you got conscious rap, that means you got unconscious rap. That means
How'd we do? I got 5. I got 6. Hey. What'd you get? 6.
I got 7. And conscious means that you're conscious of what's going on in this world. You're fully aware and awake to what's going on in this world. That's what conscious rap means. So I smell like aging. You smell like aging. I smell.
I'm acting like a nagger. You're about to get smoked out like fiends boiling booger to get coke out. Nagger, I don't wanna hear you talk. My lyrics are right on cue like blue chalk.
More head. We are 20 more rockin'. You could call them Moroccans. Ray Seal West at death. Let's get it poppin'. Got a problem with my G? Got a problem with me? I be on the front line rolling 23 deep.
Standing on the rock, Morocco, here we go, Moabite Mo, Grand Sheik Cujo, let's flow.
From the grave, no longer in the dead state. Colonization claim my consciousness, but